The craziest thing you got the ick for?
I don't like to see happiness sometimes. I don't know. I just saw a man like smiling.
Women attack men when they're happy.
Attack men when men are happy?
Mm-hmm.
So wait, why do women do that?
Because happiness and power comes together in a man's body, and the power is scary. And so we have to diminish the power. So we will attack them when they're happy. They come home, they caught a big fish, or whatever it was they did. If it wasn't something that I did that gave you that feeling, then that's a problem.
You're more excited to go out with your friends.
It's supposed to make you happy.
In which I put out my theory that the majority, or at least most men that are single, are not as lonely as a lot of individuals out there would like us to believe. In fact, from the majority of the comments from men, most men have actually found it rather peaceful being single. And this seemed to upset some individuals, and by some I mean some women, some of whom left some very disparaging comments in regards to what they thought of me. But it doesn't matter what they think of me. What I want to know is, why would some women get upset that men are more happy single than they were in relationships? Because I think we all know that sometimes it's worse to be in a relationship with someone that doesn't appreciate you than to be single and be by yourself, where you don't have to worry about impressing anyone or worrying about what they're doing. So why would some be upset about what the guys were saying? Seems rather funny, doesn't it?
They really think we're the ones who depend on them, especially the toxic ones, acting like they're somehow essential in our lives. But if you actually look closer, that whole idea falls apart pretty quickly. Because the truth is completely flipped. It's not us who can't function without them. It's them who feel lost the moment we're gone.
Being friends with women in this generation is getting more and more impossible. I usually just stay at the house and read some books because women are really, really hard to be friends with right now. It's something about this generation specifically that makes them, actually so insufferable. Every woman is claiming that they hate all men, and I cannot get behind that train of thought. How disrespectful to your father, your brothers, your future son, your future husband. I will never in my life understand that train of thought. Because it's these same women that are gonna wake up in their 30s, single and alone, and wondering what happened. Why am I alone right now? And it's well, if you hadn't spent your 20s saying awful things about men, maybe you could have settled down. But instead, you're gonna sit there, 40 years old, listening to Taylor Swift with a bunch of cats around you. Can't we all just be nice to men? For once? Please?
Just think about this for a second. Imagine being a young boy today, growing up in this environment. You're scrolling through social media, and everywhere you look is just wave after wave of negativity and hate. Now ask yourself, what kind of impact is that going to have on his mindset as he grows up? Because this isn't something small. It slowly shapes how he sees the world, relationships, and even himself. And honestly, it's already showing. You can tell the next generation is mentally checking out, and most people aren't even paying attention yet.
If you're a grown man, once you hit 21 and you pulling your phone out making videos, I do not trust you at that point, because I feel like, me personally, this could be a personal thing, but I feel like social media is for women. I'm sorry. It is for men to look at.
Ooh, man, we can't do nothing.
No, I was just playing, but in all seriousness, there are a lot of women who just genuinely don't like to see men happy or men speaking their mind. There are a lot of girlfriends, a lot of fiancés, a lot of wives who don't like to see their man happy unless they're the reason their man is happy. They don't want to see their man going out with drinks with the fellas. They don't want to see their man going to watch sports. They don't want to see their man going to play sports. They don't want to see their man playing a video game. They don't want to see their man watching anime. If she's not the reason you're happy, she don't feel like you should be happy, because that other thing that's making you happy is taken away from her. And not only that, we live in a time, in a generation where most women don't care how they man think or really care how they man feel. And they actually care about that man. So why in the hell would they want to hear a random man on social media talking about how he feels or what he thinks? like me. They don't give a fuck. They don't want to hear that. They don't care about how they man feel. Why would they care about how I feel or what I think?
At this point, it feels like there's a brand new problem every single week. Like seriously, the list just keeps getting longer for no reason. And if we're being honest, that kind of behavior usually comes from people who aren't happy themselves. It's not really about others. It's more about what's going on inside them. Because when you break it down, it all points to the same thing: negativity, insecurity, and a whole lot of inner frustration.
I'm gonna be a pick-me right now because we be knowing when our niggas unhappy, we just don't care, and that's the problem. I care, but y'all don't care, and that's the problem. Cause it's not fair. Cause we be knowing. Y'all energy change, y'all mood change, y'all vibe is different when y'all are unhappy. Y'all are I can tell when a man is depressed. I can tell when a man is depressed. I can tell when a man is unhappy with work, all of that stuff. I can tell. So if I could tell, y'all could tell, and y'all are selfish. So yeah.
It often feels like a man's happiness isn't even on the priority list for anyone. Like no one really stops to ask what he's going through or what he actually needs. There's this unspoken expectation that he should just handle everything on his own. No complaints, no support, just keep moving forward no matter what. And over time, that kind of pressure starts to build up inside. Because when no one checks on you, it eventually starts to feel like no one truly cares.
Going through these comments, I'm really seeing that women do not understand men. Women do not understand that men are very simple, down to the point where it's barbaric. And I think that's because as women, we are complex. And so we expect men to be that exact same way. That's not the case at all. For example, you ask us what we want to eat. We're thinking about what we ate yesterday, what we're going to eat tomorrow, where we going for brunch on the weekend, who has the better reviews, what we have a taste for, what we don't have a taste for. It's going to take forever to come to a conclusion on what we really want to eat. You ask a man what he wants to eat, all he knows is that he's hungry. He wants to go someplace that's nearby, that sells food that he likes. You ask a woman what she wants for her birthday, she may say, let's just go to dinner, maybe grab some drinks afterwards, maybe go dance a little bit, just come home and, do something a little strange. If the man that she's with does those things exactly, but doesn't add some extra pizzazz to it, she's likely going to be upset because why would you just do what I said that you should do? On the flip end, you ask a man what he wants to do for his birthday. Let's say he says the same exact thing that woman says, but she decides that she does want to add a little razzle-dazzle to it. He may get upset because that's not what he asked for. Now let's bring this full circle. I think that this is a great thing to do. Matter of fact, as a life coach, I recommend it to my clients. Have a personal timeline for how long you're willing to stay in one phase of a relationship before you have expectations of it moving to the next phase. And if it doesn't move to the next phase, then now you have to decide what is your next move. However, ladies, as a woman in a relationship with a man, and if that man truly wants to marry you, truly wants to be with you long term, you will never have to give him a deadline. He is going to do it, and he's going to do it in good timing, because men are simple. Men know what they want, and men will go after it. Do not make this more complex than it needs to be. If he is not doing it, it's because he doesn't want to. Do with that what you will.
Exactly. Most of the time, we're actually pretty straightforward about what we want. And if we don't care, we'll literally say, it doesn't matter. Just go with whatever works. Sometimes it's even like, you decide, just to keep things simple. But somehow, even that turns into a problem for some people. Like, wait, being easygoing is an issue now too? At that point, it feels like no matter what you say, you're still getting blamed anyway.
world where more and more men are single because women do not want to date them is a world that's very dangerous for women, which is why I worry about retaliation in reaction to the rise of single men. We actually have data from this year that shows young women are way less interested in dating than young men are. And we have data to show that more women than men are single because they simply cannot find someone they are interested in dating. 38% of single American women say the main reason they're not dating is they can't find someone that meets their expectations, compared to only 23% of men say the same thing. College-educated women are the group most likely to say they are single because they can't find someone that meets their expectation, 45%. And I can hear the men in my comments now saying, see, it's women's fault. They have too high of expectation and that's why everyone is single and lonely. But let me remind you that women have always entered into marriages with the expectation that it is going to materially improve their lives. We needed husbands for financial security. We needed them for bank accounts, for credit cards, to have a house to live in. And now women are doing better than men. We are more educated. We are stable on our own. And women who are independent and self-sustaining do not need to get married. When you don't financially need a husband or a partner, you can say, I'm not going to get a partner until I find one that's emotionally supportive, emotionally intelligent, doesn't need me to be his therapist and his mom, doesn't need me to do all the childcare, all the housework. And men will tell you, they do in my comments every single day, that these expectations are just simply too much. I fear for escalating retaliation that this will cause interpersonally between men and women, and also in legislative and policy decisions, like the push to get rid of no-fault divorce, in the rolling back of reproductive rights, and with things like student debt and college affordability. They're not going to make college more affordable when more women going to college results in higher expectations of the men that want to date us. So yeah, that's why I worry about retaliation of men who cannot make it worth it for women to want to date and marry them.
They love to label it as single and lonely, like that's the only possible reality. But in truth, being single doesn't automatically mean being unhappy. A lot of people are actually enjoying their peace, their space, and their freedom. And honestly, not every new person adds value to that. Sometimes bringing the wrong energy into your life only makes things worse. So yeah, single doesn't mean lacking. It can also mean choosing peace over problems.
Women hating to see men be happy. They hate to see it. So many women, even if they're married or have a boyfriend, they're like, ugh, I hate when he's happy. Ugh, he's smiling. Ugh, gosh. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand why a woman would want a man to be unhappy or why she just doesn't feel comfortable when he is happy. It is a sign of insecurity. It is a sign of...
One of the things that I realized a while ago, society hates to see a man who is 30 and up with no kids, no wife, and just single and happy. They hate to see you traveling the world by yourself. They hate to see you going out to eat by yourself. They hate to see you just enjoying life in general by yourself. They want to see you miserable with a fat wife, working a 9 to 5, doing the everyday, regular routine. They don't want to see you living your best life, but live your best life anyways.
Oh, they definitely feel some type of way about it, no doubt. Because deep down, they know they don't have access to that same level of freedom anymore. That peace, that independence, that ability to just live on your own terms. And instead of accepting that, it starts turning into frustration. So what happens next? They try to pull you back down to their level. Because if they can't have that freedom, they don't want to see you enjoying it either.
That's real life crazy how much women strongly hate to see men happy, to see men having fun, to see men at peace. I'm gonna keep talking about this subject because this 100 men versus one gorilla, it was like really fun, and it still is. I love seeing the videos. I post them all the time on Instagram, on my story. You know, they even equipped it, you know, incorporated some animation and shit in there, so I'm really fucking with it. You see the Naruto. But yeah, it's crazy how much women hate to see men enjoying themselves, hate to see men having fun. I literally have heard women say they'll see their man doing something he enjoy or having fun, and they're like, turn their face up. They real life hate that shit. It's women in relationships that hate to see their man happy. They hate to see their man at peace. These women really hate to see us having fun with this 100 man versus one gorilla subject because they're not the center of our attention. Most of the time, us men, we're doing any and everything for a woman to get her attention, to get her to sleep with us, to get her to talk with us. Now we're just having fun without her included. They don't know what to do with themselves. They can't fucking stand that shit. If they're not the center of attention, then the world don't need to exist no more. It's crazy. Real life crazy.
The moment they're not the center of attention, everything starts to shift. If they're not the one creating the fun or getting noticed, you can feel the mood change instantly. And that's when the frustration kicks in, because not being in control of the spotlight is something they really struggle with. For a lot of them, and honestly, more than people admit, that's all it takes for them to get upset.
I do not want to see my man happy if it's not with me, ever. I'm sorry, like, maybe it's just me, but I've never been one of those girls to be like, yeah, I just want to see my man happy, even if it's not with me. Like, I love him so much that I want him to be happy, like, even if it's not with me. No, absolutely not. You cannot be happy. Your happiness depends on if you're with me or not. Sorry, death row. Like, you knew what it was when you met me, though. Like, And I don't feel bad about it. You cannot be happy unless you're with me. We're either happy together or you're not happy at all. Neither one of us gonna be happy. Then what? So yeah, that's just me though. But on another note, I need about like $300,000 to get him a Brabus by tomorrow. His birthday coming up, like I need to just get that man a Brabus. Like. But yeah, no. We're either happy together or you're never happy. That is the threat. Love you.
Women don't understand this about men. Every day a man steps out his front door, he goes into a cutthroat world, this world of entropy. It is working against him. And that man has to fight every day for the ground that he's covering. And a man does that so that he can provide safety and security for his family. He trades his peace in a literal sense for theirs. If he comes back home and unloads his baggage there, he destroys the peace in that home that he's trying to create. Now, for me as a man, one of the biggest flexes I have in this life is that I'm able to go out and do that. I can provide a place of safety and peace for my wife and my children. When I come home, I don't need my wife to be my therapist, and I don't need her to be my mother and wipe my nose, and I don't need her to hear all my problems and then her try to deal with it. She's not in a position to do that. She doesn't understand exactly what I'm going through. She doesn't want to do that in all reality, despite how much women protest this sometimes. It will put her in a position where she's either trying to put you back together or puts her in a place where she is in a state of high anxiety now because you brought the world and you brought all the anxiety and all the stress of the world into the very home that you were trying to protect. What I need as a man, when I come home, I need my wife at peace. I need my children happy and taken care of. I need shelter from the storm. And the truth is, if she feels protected, if she's at peace, that's synergistic for me as a man. She gives me peace. I don't need her to solve my problems. What I need her to do is be a place of safety for me from all those storms. That's what puts me back together. That's the biggest flex I have as a man, and it makes me proud to be that type of man that I can provide that for my family. And when I get that energy when I come home, I can go out every fucking day of the week and I can run through walls. But the truth is, we as men, we take a lot of damage and you have to unload that somewhere. You can't hold that close to your chest. That's when you go to your brothers. They can hear what you have to say without it destroying the peace of your home that you're trying to protect. You take it to the fire, you take it to the boys, you unload it there, put it on the table, and then you get back out and you do it the next day. That's what it means to be a man. Wives, if your husband works hard, if he tells you the truth, shows up for you and your kids with both strength and vulnerability, even though he may not say it right or do it right all the time, please grab his face with both hands. Look him in the eyes and tell him you're proud of him. Let him know that you see him. These words, they'll put your man back in fighting shape, and they may just save his life. And ladies, if your husband lacks a tribe of brothers around him, if he is struggling through this on his own, get him to come check out Doughboy Nation. Drop husband in the comment section and we'll DM me back. Let's get him back in fighting shape together.
But here's the thing, a lot of people feel like the support just isn't there anymore. Like men are expected to show up, give everything, and hold it all together, but don't always get that same energy back in return. And over time, that imbalance starts to become really obvious, because expectations keep getting higher while the effort on the other side doesn't always match it. And that's where the real frustration starts to build.
Women do not care about your feelings.
Yeah. Zoom in. Yeah,
well, one more time. Okay, listen to me.
Oh my God, this is great.
Women do not, I don't care how much they ask you about it. Women do not care about your feelings.
Not at all.
They do not think that because your ex, their don't get wet because your ex cheated on you. They do not care about, stop qualifying yourself. They do not care about your feelings. So stop going overboard with that. Unfortunately, and I'm gonna tell you this, as a man, you are going to be judged on your performance for the rest of your life. Women too are judged on your performance. Like I had a commander, I had 2 female squadron commanders when I was in the Air Force. But women can also be judged on their physical appearance, whereas men, to a certain extent, unless you're a model or a male stripper, you're not gonna be judged on your physical appearance as much. You're gonna be judged on your performance for the rest of your life. This is the reason why 56% of the marriages in this country end in divorce, and 80% of those divorces are initiated by women. That's the reason why, okay? Because we as men have to continue to perform. We get fat, we lose our job, and then all of a sudden we grew apart. That's essentially what women tell the friends, because it's hard, it's very difficult. I do not believe in unconditional love. I don't think it exists. That's just my opinion.
Here's a truth that never changes. The only kind of love you can really count on, no matter what, comes from your parents. Everyone else? That love usually comes with conditions, expectations, or strings attached. But your parents? They've got your back, no questions asked. It is what it is, and honestly, that's something pretty powerful.
This is a secret I will be exposing that women will hate me for. A lot of women are single not by choice. Men don't want them, and that's exactly why they're single. This is why I give you guys tips on how to find out whether she's a good woman if she is single. But a lot of the times, women lack so much self-awareness and accountability to the point where literally no guy wants them, not even the bad boys. And even if the bad boys may want them, they're not gonna change for her because she ain't worth it. Or maybe she's single by choice, but also because the guys that she wants doesn't want her. A lot of women choose to chase men that don't want her, and then they forget about the guys that are actually making an effort. That's just how they are. You want to deal with it, you're going to deal with it. One-on-one coaching in my bio.
Honestly, this has never been a secret, but somehow hearing it straight from a woman's perspective hits differently. Maybe some people will finally get it, that this is actually the reality for a lot of women out there. Or maybe they won't. Either way, the truth doesn't change.
Women truly want men to just give and give and give with nothing in return. The fact that women continuously feel as though a man should spoil them and do for them just because they're a woman, just because they exist. No type of conversation on what you give back. What does he get out of it? Okay? How does it all come full circle? This is where the disconnect is happening. It is unwise for a man to just give out his resources and not receive anything back. That is the quickest way for a man to be messed up out here, broke, and it's just something that actual men just do not do. And their instinct kind of tells them where they are safe to invest at because they will get a return. Y'all are always going to be frustrated if you want men to give and give and give with nothing in return, okay?
You're going to hate me for telling you this, but women need men more than men need women. A man could be single at 45 years old and gain options, but a woman can be single at 45 and she negotiates with regret. Men age into leverage. Women age into reality. That's the difference. A man can create life at 25 years old or 65. Time works for him. It hunts her though. When beauty expires, hierarchy becomes visible. Men were never optional. We are the roads. We're the power grid. We're the load-bearing beams of civilization. Remove men and nothing runs on time. Every plane on the planet would be late if women ran the airports. Women need men way more than they're ever going to dare telling you.
And here's the kicker. That's exactly what gets under their skin. We have choices, options, opportunities. But the difference is, we're checked out on our own terms, not pushed, forced, or trapped by circumstances. Thanks for tuning in to Manhood. If you want exclusive episodes and want to support the channel, hit that join button and become a member. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if this one hit home. Drop your stories and thoughts in the